All righty, welcome everybody. Happy Friday deep stretch. This is a reminder to listen to your bodies today. Do what feels good. If something doesn't feel good, go ahead and let me know and we will work through it together with an adaptation. Let's go ahead and make our way to our mats and get started. We'll be in a standing position and we're going to just start with some of our upward and downward arm swings. So we'll start by inhaling, reaching both arms up nice and high, and then we're going to exhale, swing our arms down, back and behind our hips, and you'll bend your knees a little bit when you do that as well. So we'll inhale, reach both arms up, exhale, swing both arms down, and let's go ahead and repeat that movement. Nice and slow, but we're getting our breathing tied in. Exhale as we swing the arms down. Inhale as you reach the arms up. Nice restorative movement. Just kind of feeling yourself move, taking your time. And most importantly, breathing. And let's go one more here. Big breath in and release it. Go ahead and come back to standing. We're going to do some arm circles now. So we'll start with big forward arm circles, taking our arms out to the sides, out in front of us, down to the floor and behind us. Spreading our fingers out nice and wide. Keeping our pelvis tucked. We don't want our back arching. And let's reverse the direction of those big arm circles now, reversing them. Taking arms up, back, down, and forward. And let's go ahead and stop those arm circles. Let your arms fall back down by your sides. You can place your hands on your hips or on an external source nearby. We're going to do some nice slow glute kicks. Starting with my right foot, I'm going to drive my right heel towards my right glutes. Place that foot back down and repeat on the left side. Slow glute kicks, warming up the knees, getting a little bit of balance work. And we're trying to keep our weight and torso centered even when we go onto one leg. And let's go ahead and reverse the movement. We'll place both feet back down on the floor. And we're going to do some hamstring scoops next. So we'll start by stepping our right foot out in front of us. Heel's going to be down on the floor, toes up to the sky. We're going to trace both of our hands down that forward right leg until we get close to our foot or ankle. We'll rise ourselves back up to standing, step the right foot back underneath our hips, and repeat on the left side. So stepping left foot out in front of us, heel down, toes up. Tracing the hands down the leg, stretching the whole entire backside of that leg, scooping ourselves back up to standing, and repeat. So go ahead and just alternate between right and left sides with those hamstring scoops. I like to inhale as I rise up to standing, exhale as I scoop down that leg. I'm always talking about breathing and focusing on tying breath to movement. It's a great practice for your mind. Keeps you from thinking about other things like work or stress or the groceries you have to get later. Good. Let's just go for a few more of these hamstring scoops. And let's go ahead and finish the rep you're on. Get both feet back underneath your hips in that neutral standing position. And we're going to stir the pot with our hips. So we're going to keep our feet planted where they're at. placing my hands on my hips, I'm just going to push my hips forward, and then I'm going to draw a nice big circle. We'll start going clockwise. So hips forward first, swing them out to the right, back behind us, around to the left, and back to the start. Stirring the pot with our hips and torso. Feet are staying firmly planted. And just kind of feel how your weight transfers around in your feet when you're stirring your hips. You can kind of feel your toes, all your foot, your heel, shifting and transferring that weight. And let's switch direction of that stir the pot, taking it counterclockwise now, or to the left. And we're also feeling some of that musculature in our back, maybe our obliques, the front of our thighs, stretching and moving with this movement. And let's go ahead and come back to center with our hips and do some of our sun salutations to begin our stretch practice. So I'm starting in that neutral standing position, feet under hips, toes forward. I'm going to inhale, reach my arms out to the sides and as far as I can overhead. And I'm going to exhale into a forward fold, taking my hands down towards my feet, feeling that stretch along the back side of my legs. And I'm going to inhale and take my hands to my shins and flatten my back, pushing my hips to the wall behind me. I'm going to exhale all the way back into that forward fold hang, letting your arms hang. And I'm going to inhale, taking both arms out wide and overhead once again, bringing my palms together overhead. And I'm going to exhale as I lower them in front of my face and chest. And let's go one more time here. Inhale, arms out and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Just letting your head, neck, and shoulders hang. Let's inhale, taking it to the half lift. Kind of pushing our shoulders down towards our hips. Exhale, forward fold, all the way back down. And let's inhale, taking the arms out, up, overhead, palms together. Exhale as we lower them in front of our face and into our chest. Beautiful. We're going to stay standing up here. You can go ahead and grab a quick drink of water if you need. I'm going to do so. And let's take our feet out into a wide stance position. So I'm going to step my feet 1 to 2 steps outside of my hips. I'm in a nice wide standing position. My feet are going to be pointing forward and slightly outward. From here, I'm going to place my hands on my hips, start to bend my knees and sink my hips down. Only a little bit, not too much. We're not going to be in a full deep squat. But once I'm here in that kind of quarter squat position, I'm just going to start shifting my weight left to right. So I'll start to the right, shifting my weight over into that right leg, straightening, lengthening out that left leg. And then I'm going to shift over into the left leg, straightening out, lengthening that right leg. And let's just rock here a few times. Nice wide Cossack rocks. And let's go ahead and bring ourselves back to center with our hips. We're still in that wide standing position. I want you to take your right elbow to the top of your right thigh. And I want you to take your, there we go. And I want you to take your left arm and extend it up and overhead. And then reach that left arm over to the right. Just We're in a nice wide stance side bend. Really trying to create length between that left hand and left hip. Let's take one more breath here. And let's go ahead and bring ourselves back to center. You can let that left arm down. And let's reach both hands down towards the floor. So we're in a nice wide forward fold now. If you need a little break, feel free to stand up. If not, go ahead and stay in that wide forward fold. Hands might come all the way down to the floor. Hands might be hovering. We all have a different range. Just keep a slight bend in that knee. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and switch sides. So we'll take left elbow to rest on left thigh, extending the right arm up and overhead, and then reaching that right arm across to the left. Taking those deep breaths, focusing on the stretch. And on your next breath, go ahead and release that right arm. Come back to center, and we'll step our feet back underneath our hips. No longer in that wide stance. And from here, let's just do our standard forward fold, standing forward fold to wash it out. So from that neutral standing position, just reaching my hands down towards the floor, letting my shoulders, head just hang. And on your next breath, go ahead and bend the knees and take your hands all the way flat to the floor, setting up for a downward dog. From here, you can begin to walk your feet behind you, staying on your toes and ball of your foot, pushing your hips up towards the sky, and attempting to push your heels down towards the floor. If that's not feeling good, go ahead and pedal one heel at a time. So bending the opposite knee to the heel you're pushing into the floor. Downward dog. Make sure we're engaging the shoulders, pushing away from our palms as we push the hips towards the ceiling. And let's go ahead and step our right foot up between our hands. And that naturally kind of brings us to that world's greatest stretch starting position. So our right foot is planted flat between our hands. Our left leg is extended behind us and we're on the ball and toes of that left foot. Option to just stay here, take a few breaths, or if you want to go into that full world's greatest stretch, go ahead and open your chest to the right. Take that right arm overhead, fingertips to the ceiling. You'll feel that nice stretch in the right glutes area. And if this is pretty intense, go ahead and drop that left knee down to the floor. So you've come to a modified world's greatest stretch with a deep lunge. It's also a great exercise for our core, but a great stretch nonetheless. On your next breath, go ahead and lower that right hand back down. Let's step the right foot back behind us again. Push the hips back up into that down dog position. Pedal out the heels. And let's repeat on the left side, stepping the left foot up between the hands. Left foot is planted flat between the hands. Right leg is extended back behind us. And we're on the ball of our foot or our right toes. Option, of course, to stay here in that first world's greatest stretch position. Or if you'd like to add the challenge, go ahead and open, turning that chest to the left, taking that left arm overhead, fingertips towards the ceiling. And just breathe. Remember, you can always drop that back knee if it's getting a little too challenging. Great stretch for the hips, glutes. And let's bring that left hand back down, stepping the left foot back behind us again for that down dog. And let's lower the knees down to the floor, bringing us to that tabletop position. And let's wash everything out with some cat-cow stretches, pelvic tilting. We'll start with that cow position. Inhaling, arching the back, kind of letting the chest sink towards the floor, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling, taking nose towards the ceiling. And we're going to exhale into the cat, rounding the back, pushing our shoulders away from our palms, pushing our pelvis forward, and nose comes towards the floor. And let's just repeat between those two, cat and cow, keeping the breathing involved. And remember, not just thinking about the hips and pelvis during the stretch, but also the shoulders. Feel how the shoulders come together in the cow and how they separate and stretch in the cat. Good. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves back to neutral pelvis, right in the middle of cat and cow. And I want you to take your right knee and place it between your hands. And let's kind of walk that left leg back, extended behind us. So we've come into that folded pigeon stretch. Option to keep your knee at 12 o'clock. Or if you have the flexibility, go ahead and take the shin parallel to the top of the mat. Let that knee kind of come out to the side, or you can stay in that first pigeon stretch. Both hands are on either side of your right knee. And then you can lower yourself down to your forearms and kind of let your torso fold over that right knee while the left leg stays extended behind you. You can even go further and take your arms or walk your fingertips away from your shoulders, kind of like a child's pose, but with half child's pose. Many options for the stretch. We're primarily feeling it in the front of the left hip and outside of the right thigh, leg, glutes. And if you went down to your forearms or extended arms, go ahead and bring those hands back on either side of your right knee. Let's push that right knee back to that starting position, and we'll switch sides. Now taking that left knee, placing it down between the hands, extending the right leg back behind us. Pigeon stretch left side. Option is stay on your hands, or you can drop down to your forearms, or you can extend arms away from you. And just breathe, sink, melt into your hips, melt into the floor. And if you chose to extend your arms or go down your forearms, let's go ahead and bring both hands back to either side of your left knee. And let's push the left knee back and come back to that tabletop position. Hands are flat on the floor, knees are planted under the hips, back is nice and flat. From here, we're going to go into a puppy stretch. So I want you to keep your knees planted and your hips up where they're at. So in that kind of back end of your tabletop. But I want you to begin to walk your hands away from your legs until you come into that stretched kind of child's pose position, but your hips are staying up. You can drop your elbows to the floor if you'd like, or you can kind of keep that stretch in the back and shoulders by keeping them elevated. And now let's sink our hips down towards our heels for a true child's pose. Keeping the arms extended away from us, creating as much space as possible between the fingertips and the hips. And let's go ahead and walk those fingertips over to the left side of our mat. And let's kind of push that right hip out to the right, extending that stretch further. And if you need some supports or cushion for your knees, feel free to grab that as well. And let's bring the hips back to center, walk our fingertips over now to the right side of our mat. And then let's push that left hip out to the left, creating more space between the fingertips and hips, feeling that entire lat stretching. The lats or the latissimus dorsi, your back muscle, the muscle with the largest surface area on your body. And let's go ahead on your next breath, walk your fingertips back to center, bring your hips back to center, and let's lower ourselves all the way down to the floor in a lying position, lying on our stomachs. So once you've made your way down to the mat, lying face down, we're going to do some lying quad stretches. So let's go ahead, starting on the right side. We're going to bend the right knee, take the right heel towards our right glutes. Option to just hold here. Use both hands as a pillow for your forehead. Or you can use a yoga belt or your hand to reach around, grab that right ankle, and pull it a little closer to your backside. And let's just breathe and hold this stretch. And feel if any portion of your body is guarding. It could be your glutes, it could be your lower back. Try to actively think about releasing those guard muscles. Good, and let's release that right ankle back down. Right leg is extended again. We're going to stay on the right side. I want you to take your right knee, kind of roll onto your left hip as you drag your right knee up and out to the side for a half frog or a runner or a rock climber. So your right knee is outside of your right hip. It's still flat on the floor. You're still lying face down. You're getting a nice inner thigh and hip stretch. And you can just rest your forehead on both hands while you hold the stretch. Once again, see if any muscles are tightening, trying to prevent the stretch, and actively release them to allow for the stretch. Good. On your next breath, let's go ahead and bring that right leg back underneath the hips, extended long. You can shake out the hips side to side, just kind of wagging. And let's repeat on the left side, starting with that left quadriceps stretch. We'll take the left heel towards the left glutes, holding it there passively or actively, reaching around with the left hand or yoga belt, grabbing the left ankle and pulling it closer to your backside. Releasing everything else to allow for the stretch to happen. And let's go ahead and release that left leg back out long. We'll go into that half frog or rock climber stretch by taking the left knee, dragging it up to the same level as our left hip, kind of creating that 90-degree angle with your left leg. Still lying face down, right hip is planted on the floor. Feeling a nice stretch, opening of the left hip, left inner thigh. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and release that stretch, extending the leg back out long. And let's shake out the hips left to right. And let's go ahead and make our way onto our backs. We'll be lying on our backs. Our legs are extended long. Our hands can be resting on our bellies to start. Let's go ahead and inhale. We're going to kind of flex the right foot, keeping the right leg straight. We're going to raise it up towards the ceiling. Our hands can come to the back of our thigh or back of our knee and support that leg. Keeping a slight bend in the knee, but keeping the leg as straight as possible. And let's just draw some clockwise circles with our right leg. Keeping the foot flexed, feeling that stretch along the hamstring. Always the option to use a yoga belt, yoga strap. You could even use a bathrobe tie for this to wrap around the bottom of your foot. And let's go ahead and switch the direction, taking those circles counterclockwise now. Just kind of feeling how that femur rotates in your hip socket. And let's go ahead and bend that right knee. Take the hands to the front of the knee or shin, and let's hug it in nice and close. Now let's do some clockwise circles with our ankle and toes. And let's switch those ankle circles counterclockwise. And let's go ahead and bend the left knee, taking left foot flat to the floor, left knee towards the ceiling. We're going to take that right ankle and let it rest on the top of the left knee, left thigh. And we're going to drop that right knee out to the side for that lying or reclined pigeon or figure four. Option, of course, to just stay here, or you can take the hands to the back of your left thigh and raise your left foot off of the mat for a deeper stretch in the hip. Either one is just fine. We're going to sit here for a few seconds. Open up the hips, feeling the stretch in our glutes as well. Upper body is relaxed. We're sinking into the floor more and more with every exhale. And let's go ahead and release both legs out long once again. We can shake out the hips, shake out the legs. And let's go ahead and flex that left foot now, starting to engage the left leg and gently keeping that leg as straight as possible, raising it up towards the ceiling. Both hands can interlace on the back of that left thigh or left knee, keeping the leg as straight as possible, feeling that stretch along the entire back side of the leg. And let's begin to draw those gentle clockwise circles with our leg and foot. So we're moving the entire leg in that hip socket clockwise. Hands are kind of guiding the movement. And let's go ahead and switch the direction of those circles, counterclockwise. And let's bend that left knee. Take the hands to the front of the knee or shin and hug it in nice and close to the chest. And we'll begin to draw some ankle circles clockwise. And let's take them counterclockwise. And let's take that right foot and bring it flat to the floor, right knee towards the ceiling. We'll take that left ankle and let it rest on the top of the right thigh or right knee. Left knee will fall out to the side naturally. Reclined pigeon or figure four stretch. Go ahead and stay here where you're at, just kind of gently guiding that left knee away from your torso, or you can take your hands, interlace them on the back of your right thigh, lift the right foot off of the floor for a deeper stretch. Every week can feel different depending on the activities you did. Some weeks a stretch might feel good and doable. Other weeks it might be too tight, and that's okay. What matters is you're taking care of your body, you're listening to your body. Continue to breathe deeply, letting yourself release. And let's go ahead and release that left leg. And let's bring both knees up into our chest and meet them with our hands to give them a big hug. And let's just gently rock left to right, massaging out the lower back. And let's rock up and down, so pulling the knees up, pushing them down. And let's take the knees in circles to the right. And to the left. Just giving our lower back a little massage. And let's go ahead and release the knees. Let both feet come flat to the floor. And let's gently roll ourselves up into a seated position to do some seated stretching, some upper neck and body stretching. Once you've come to that seated position, let's go ahead and bring the bottoms of our feet together. Let the knees fall out to the sides for a butterfly stretch. And from here, we're going to work into the neck a little bit. So let's make sure our posture is good. Let's roll the shoulders back and down, shoulder blades in our back pocket. Chest is proud, crown of our head is up. And let's gently take that right ear down towards our right shoulder. Stretching the left side of the neck, left trapezius muscles. And hands can be grabbing onto your feet, or they can be resting behind you, whatever feels good. And let's gently rock our head up and down. So nodding our head, yes. Chin towards your chest, crowning your head to the back wall. Still keeping that right ear towards your right shoulder. And let's go ahead and bring our head and neck back to center. And let's switch sides, taking left ear down towards the left shoulder. Still keeping the nose forward. Holding the stretch static to start. And you can go ahead and begin the nodding of your head and neck. And let's go ahead and bring our head back to center. We're going to draw some head or neck circles. So we'll start by taking our chin down to our chest. Then we'll roll that right ear towards the right shoulder. We'll take our nose to the sky, let the crown of our head go to the back wall. And then left ear to left shoulder and back to the start, chin to chest. So gentle neck circles. Remember to go nice and slow with this movement. We don't need to make it explosive or fast. We want to be gentle with our spine, our cervical spine. And let's switch directions, taking those neck circles the other way, left to start. And let's bring our head back to center. Let's extend the legs out long away from us. And let's take them just wide outside of our hips. So we're in a nice wide seated position. We're going to do a nice wide forward fold. So we'll start by inhaling, reaching both arms up overhead. And then I want you to exhale, fold yourself over to the left, reach both of those hands towards your left foot, ankle, or shin. And remember, you can keep your nose towards the floor, or you can gently twist your nose and chest to the right and feel a little deeper stretch in your back, but do what feels good. And let's begin to roll ourselves back up to upright seated, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. lifts your back up. Let's go ahead and inhale one more time. Extending, reaching both arms up high overhead. And then we'll exhale, folding to the right, reaching those hands towards our right foot, ankle, or shin. And one vertebrae at a time, let's begin to roll yourself back to upright seated. And I want you to just find a comfortable way to be seated, whether that was back in the butterfly. You can go crisscross. You can just have your legs extended out away from you. We're just going to do some more upper body stretching. So once you've found that comfortable position, we're going to do overhead tricep stretch on the right side. So let's make sure our posture is set up for success. Kind of pushing our chest forward, rolling the shoulders back. I want you to raise your right arm up overhead from the shoulder, fingertips towards the ceiling. And I want you to bend at the elbow, take that right hand to the back of your head or the base of your neck. And you can just stay here. If you want to add a little manipulation, active stretch, take that left hand to the top of your right elbow and just gently push it backwards. Continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath during these stretches. And let's go ahead and release that overhead tricep stretch. Now we'll do a cross body shoulder stretch. So I want you to extend your right arm out in front of you from the shoulder now. Gently cross it over the center line of your body towards the left. And then taking your left elbow, I want you to hook your right elbow, pull it close into your chest. So you're feeling a nice stretch along the back side of the arm, the shoulder. And go ahead and depress or push that right shoulder down towards the floor, and you'll feel a nice deepening stretch in that cross-body shoulder stretch. And let's add some fluid movement of our wrist, our right wrist. You can do some figure eights. You can flex your wrist up and down. You can do circles with your wrist. I'll give you some freedom here. Just move it, wiggle your fingers. And let's go ahead and release that crossbody shoulder stretch, coming back to center. Let your arms both relax. Let's reset our posture, taking a big breath in, chest proud, shoulders back and down. And we'll repeat that overhead tricep stretch on the left side. So starting by reaching the left arm up overhead from the shoulder, fingertips towards the ceiling. Bending your elbow, placing that left hand on the back of your head or the base of your neck. Staying there or offering a little bit of extra help and manipulation by taking the right hand to that left elbow and just gently pressing it to the wall behind you. On your next breath, go ahead and release that tricep stretch. And we're going to do that cross-body shoulder stretch on the left side. So let's extend the left arm out from the left shoulder in front of us, crossing the center line of your body, taking your left hand over to the right, hooking left elbow with the right elbow and pulling that left arm into your chest, depressing or pushing the left shoulder down towards the floor to deepen the stretch. And let's add that wrist movement once again. Figure eights, flexion and extension, or just wrist circles. On your next breath, go ahead and release that crossbody shoulder stretch. We're going to do our chest opener stretch. So if you need to readjust your seated position and try a different one, feel free to do so. When you're ready, let's interlace those fingers behind our back. And then we're just gently going to pull the shoulders back, take the chest up towards the ceiling as well as our nose, opening up the chest. And let's go ahead and release that chest opener stretch. And now we'll do the opposite and we'll open up the scapulas. So I want you to cross your arms in front of your chest, taking right hand to left shoulder and left hand to right shoulder. And then I just want you to kind of bring your hands, wrap them around the back of your shoulders. So you're really just giving yourself a big hug. And then I just want you to kind of push those elbows forward and you kind of feel your shoulder blades slide and glide forward, expanding and creating space between them. And let's go ahead and release that shoulder stretch, scapula opening. And let's finish with some nice gentle shoulder rolls. So keeping our arms down, relaxed by our sides. Let's shrug our shoulders up towards our ears. Push them to the wall behind us. Pull them down to the floor. Push them in front of us. Gentle shoulder rolls. And go ahead and reverse the direction, take them the other way. And go ahead and let your shoulders relax. Take one last big breath in. Give yourselves a pat on the back and express some gratitude for a great stretched workout today. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you have a fabulous weekend.